Rattler's skull crunch between his jaws in a shower of bone fragments. Headless, the undead warrior staggered on for a few moments before the Saurus guard smashed its remains into dust. From a dread forest filled with the hanging corpses of men, hundreds of skeletons shambled towards Groktok and his Saurus kin, their stardrake shields forming a bastion of scales that protected their Slann while he wove his powerful magic. Out of the breasts of undead, a pale apparition appeared, her skin waxen and fangs bared. With terrifying speed, the creature plunged into the Saurus guard, and in a matter of moments Groktok saw his brothers fall, their bodies vanishing in blurs of light. With preternatural speed, the vampire dodged under Groktok's blade, sinking her fangs into his flesh. But as the fiend tried to drink, she realized too late that it was celestial energy which flowed beneath the Saurus's hide, not the blood she sought. With a roar, Groktok bit back, his razor-sharp teeth ripping off the creature's head in a spray of foul gore. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're picking up where we left off, talking about Seraphon, the absolute enemies of chaos. I think Age of Sigmar would have been quite a bit more interesting had these guys been the main characters, because they're very similar to Sigmarines. But they're, in my opinion, more interesting because they're not human. Through the parted clouds of Sigmar's tempest did the light of High Azir shine down upon the mortal realms, and from its lambent glow emerged the Seraphon. Into the Gore Vale marched the Slann and their cohorts, to the place where Sigmar's Stormcast Eternals were locked in furious battle with the cornate hordes of the Bloodbound. For the first time, Stormcast and Seraphon laid eyes upon one another, and in a moment they knew they shared a common foe. As one they loosed their fury, the howling warriors of Khorne slain by Sigmarite hammers and Celestite clubs. In the battle to purge the Gore Vale of the Bloodbound, the Seraphon attacked with untamed savagery. Though never a word passed between the enigmatic Saurian warriors and Sigmar's chosen, both knew when and where to strike. When the last idols of the Gore Vale were cast down and the wild-eyed priests of the Bloodbound put to the sword, the Stormcast Eternals watched as their seeming allies returned to the stars. Sigmarite hammers were held high in salute as the Seraphon vanished in beams of starlight. Neither were to know that many more foes would soon face the combined might of Stormcast and Seraphon. The War of Aeons. Like the march of the stars across the night sky, so too are plans of the Slann always in motion. With each heavenly revolution, the mortal realms echo to the sound of Saurian roars and bellowing warriors, as the Seraphon fight their war unending against the dark gods and their allies. The dark gods triumphant. The Seraphon's empire perishes in a storm of chaos at the hands of the dark gods. Their homelands destroyed, the Seraphon escape into the stars. The Slann, greatest of wizards, guide the race beyond the reach of the ruinous powers, though they are forced to watch their world die as they sail into the void. A rain of stars. Across Akshi, stars fall from the sky and strange lights glow on the horizon. In the wake of these celestial phenomena, a dozen chaos fortresses are mysteriously reduced to rubble. The world orrery awakens. High above the ruined city of forages, the vast world orrery begins to move. Upon its colossal spars and wheels, a wall is... I'm really sorry, I don't know what's going on with me. A war is fought between reptilian warriors and screaming chaos worshippers, sending broken bodies raining down into the city below. The blood moons rise. After butchering the tribes of the Glass Isle, Vergor Hooktongue gives praise to Khorne as 3 crimson moons rise above the battlefield. However, as the isle is bathed in ruddy light, the moons suddenly blaze a brilliant azure, and a Sunclaw star host explodes into being. Screaming to his wrathful god, Vergor leads his army against the tide of Saurian warriors, pleased to finally face a worthy foe. Soon, his body lies broken among the torn and bloody remains of his victims. The Forgotten Army. The Slann Yukultak is slain upon the basalt shores by a greater demon of Nurgle. Yet his Saurian army is none the less victorious. The Seraphon continue to fight the broken Chaos Force before finally fading into starlight. An Idol of Doom. The Orruk war boss, Rurgort Bonecracker, builds a towering idol to Gorkamorka atop the Screaming Hills. As the final piece is jammed into place, a Shadow Strike star host takes shape in the Orruk camp. A bloody battle ensues which sees Rurgort crushed by the falling effigy, and the Seraphon vanish as abruptly as they had arrived. The Bridge of Sorrows. An ancient realm gate between Shyish and Ulgu is reopened, causing the corrupting energies of chaos to seep into both realms. Even as demons and undead do battle, an army of Firelance star hosts intervenes, smashing their way through both sides in order to seal the flickering gateway. A conclave of seers. As the age of chaos rages, a dozen Slann gather together beneath the slowly moving stars of Azir. In a telepathic council that spans centuries, they perfect their plans to destroy the dark gods and the dominion of chaos. When at last they depart, it is to gather their armies within the mortal realms, for a new phase of their great war is about to begin. The Temple of Dead Gods. The Slaaneshi herald, Clepsyrian, seeks signs of her master in the Temple of Dead Gods. From shafts of starlight spearing down from the edifice's cracked dome, Seraphon coalesce into being. The hosts of Azir succeed in driving Clepsyrian's demons back, and visit upon her a fate worse than mere banishment. The Slann return. Seraphon armies appear across the realms in even greater numbers, their arrival arrival heralded by falling stars and strange constellations. In their fear and awe, primitive cultures begin to worship these mighty reptilian star gods. But the forces of chaos recognize the Seraphon for the threat they pose to the plans of the dark gods. Soon, the might of the Slann is felt far and wide. The stars align. For the first time in an age, the stars of Azir fall into perfect alignment. The power of the Seraphon waxes full, and scores of Slann turn their attention to the mortal realms. Azir blazes bright in the night sky across the realms as a vital part of the Slann's plan begins. For reasons known only to the ancient wizards, a dozen champions of chaos and their followers are brought to battle and utterly destroyed. Splintered Shadows. The Copper King of the Forge Vales pledges his people to Tzeentch in a ritual that lasts for 99 lunar cycles. Yet, as the ritual ends, it is not the Changer of Ways who appears, but the Seraphon, who show them no mercy. The City of Cogs. The Seers of Nizd craft a device that predicts the movements of the stars. As it starts spinning, it reveals a strange celestial motion, moments before the Seraphon attack. The Pits of Filth. In the runnel pits of Gur, the Skaven breed festering horrors. Descending from the heavens, the Slann, Zektoka, looses the fury of the Seraphon upon that foul place. Though a demonic tide of filth rises up from the pits to consume his army, Zektoka summons the light of Azir to burn away the rot and the Skaven alike. The flames quenched. The eternal flames of the Balefane are corrupted by Tzeentchian Arcanites, burning with insane rainbow hues. Though the Cyclopean temple has stood for thousands of years, the Seraphon care not. Their great beasts cast down its stones, and the Slann extinguish its eternal flames, as a scribe would a tallow candle. The Gatekeepers. As the age of chaos racks the mortal realms, gateways between worlds are corrupted by followers of the dark gods. Though the Slann have no need of the gates to pass between realms, they understand their worth to the ruinous powers. When the spells that set the stars to trembling, the Slann change the alignment of many gateways, altering forever where they lead. A hole in Caemon. The frozen city of Aslandas vanishes into a giant sinkhole ringed with teeth. The maw grows until a meteor crashes into its depths, and sounds of battle carry up from the dark. Wrath of the Sun Lord. When the Slann Tok'Choa's foes conceal themselves in the shadows of the Gloom Spire, he shifts the very heavens to illuminate their hiding place and blast them into oblivion. The Temple of Blood. Fueled by rivers of blood, Etok Temple floats upon a sea of murdered souls. In a long and brutal war, the Seraphon destroy the great gore locks that feed the temple. Starved of Khorne's favor, the horrific structure's towers and walls sink beneath the crimson waves. Unexpected redemption. Harried to the pits of Gargantua by the festering hordes of Clan Pestilens, Orruk warlord Git-Slinger faces certain destruction until the stars unleash the celestial war host of Kukwar. The Fortress of Embers. In the form of a giant comet, Starmaster Zektoka descends upon Obsidia Isle. The comet falls amid a battle between Khorne's Bloodbound and the Stormcast Eternals, crashing down before the Fortress of Embers atop the island's highest peak. Zektoka slays the Khornate Lord Kael'gor with magic, heralding the Bloodbound's defeat. The Stormcasts offer their mysterious allies a warrior salute, even as the Seraphon vanish and the Isle falls to ruin around them. Allies of Azir. Long in the making, Sigmar's tempest booms out across the mortal realms. From the heavens, the Slann observe the Stormcast Eternals as they launch their first devastating assaults on the armies of the Dark Gods. Though the Seraphon make no pacts with Sigmar, the two share the same foes, and their armies proceed to scour the realms of chaos in a storm of lightning and starlight. The Celestial Cage. The Arcanite Zagul plots to capture the Slann Tetalok in a maze of Tzeentchian sorcery, but the Star Master turns the trap upon its maker, sealing Zagul in a prison made from a constellation of stars. Fangs of Azir. The Slann Akatla ends the Battle of Splintered Bones by conjuring a stampede of giant horned beasts. After the Seraphon depart, the creatures are left to roam free, forming vast earth-shaking herds. The Geometric Tower. The Seraphon raise the Geometric Tower upon the dreaming plains of Hysh. Its impossible angles are strange and terrible to behold. Storm among the stars. Sigmar's tempest fills the skies of the mortal realms, and its fury is felt among even the stars of Azir. Energized by the celestial gales generated by the storm, the Seraphon appear in great numbers to intensify their ancient war against the servants of the ruinous powers. The Plague God's larder. Foreseeing the rise of the suppurating lord from the corpse womb of the festering gulch, the Slann Quilakwu brings the 7 stars of Azirandia into alignment, their celestial glow bathing the gulch in the light of the heavens. The suppurating lord's army emerges from the corpse-strewn ground, only to find a Seraphon host waiting for them. As the stars wheel overhead and the sounds of battle rage, the might of the servants of Nurgle cut a swath through the Seraphon. And yet this is as Quilakwu has foreseen, and even as his army is butchered by the Chaos Army, they soak the ground with their star blood, forever cleansing the festering gulch of its dark magic. And that is where we are going to bring this video to a close. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking the video, and subscribing to the channel. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.